everyone, welcome back to my channel, KL Low. Today I'm going to be sharing 5 tips to help you find the time to write your book. All of these tips have helped me. I've been able to set a realistic schedule, I've been able to stick to it, and I really hope that these tips help you do the same. Tip number 1, I've split into 2, a 1A and a 1B, and let's get straight into it with tip 1A, change your mindset. And this is for people that haven't started writing their book yet, and my first biggest piece of advice to you is to just start writing your book. You've decided that you're going to write a book? Fantastic, so just start doing it. Don't say, one day I'll write a book and then that day never comes. You want to set the intention that yes, you are going to write this book and you are going to make it happen. And by starting, even if it's just a couple of sentences, a few words, you've started, you can say that you're a writer and now you can think of yourself as one. Tip 1B is letting go of the perfect time to write. Now that you see yourself as a writer, I advise letting go of the idea that there is a perfect time to sit down and write your book. There's very rarely a perfect time to do anything. People will make the time, they find the time to do the things that they want to do. You schedule in time with people and activities that you do outside of writing, and you should do the same when it comes to your writing. Which brings me to tip number 2, make a schedule and stick to it. Just like you schedule things in your day-to-day life, you have to do the same with your writing. And when you do make a schedule, it's actually proven that you're more likely to stick to it. For example, when people decide to work out like 3 days a week or schedule a self-care day or see their friends on a certain day, they put that into their calendar and it becomes protected time. They won't book in anything else over this time, and it's something that we should do the same with our writing. Even if you can only do 30 minutes for one day a week, book that time in with yourself and stick to it. This also ties in with tip number 3, set a realistic schedule. If you're not a morning person, but you decide to wake up a few hours early to get your writing time in, you need to ask yourself, how likely is that going to happen and how sustainable is it for you? I'm a massive night owl, and I said to myself, I'm going to wake up early, start this brand new habit, waking up 3 hours before work so I can spend that time writing on my book. Well, I did it for a couple of days, and to be fair, they were really productive writing days, but because I am a night owl, I struggled so hard to keep waking up. So be realistic. The more honest you are with what you can accomplish in a week will leave you feeling so much better when you show up to each of those writing sessions versus setting an unrealistic schedule where you're missing multiple sessions a week, and that will leave you feeling really demotivated and not wanting to continue. One 30-minute writing session that you know you can show up for that week is going to be way better for you than missing all of your unrealistic goals. Tip number 4 is make the most of the time you have. Now that you've found a schedule that works for you, you have to really challenge yourself to make the most of that time that you've set aside. When I'm writing for longer periods of time, say 2 or 3 hours, I like to make sure that I have a break every 30 minutes. And for the 30 minutes that I am writing, I make sure not to have any tabs open on my PC. I don't check social media, I won't check my emails, answer any calls, and I don't do anything that involves getting up from my desk like making a tea or coffee. All of that can wait for half an hour while I'm focused on my writing. And the idea behind this is to make the most of the time that you have, especially if on one day you can only write for 20 minutes, you don't want to get distracted by other things. Something that can really help with this is by doing a writing sprint where you set a timer for, say, 20 minutes and you don't stop writing until that 20 minutes timer is up. Tip number 5 is take a break and reward yourself. If you're doing longer writing sessions, I would recommend taking regular breaks and use those breaks to reward yourself with things that you would usually be distracted by, like checking social media for 10 minutes or watching some of that show that you're currently binging, because you're less likely to be distracted by these things while you're writing when you know that in 30 minutes you've got a break and can do all of that. Rewarding yourself with this also applies to shorter writing sessions, where if you can just focus for the short time that you've set aside to write, once you're done, you can reward yourself by doing anything you want to do when you're finished. And those are my 5 tips to help you find the time to write your book. I really hope that they help, and if you've used any of these already or have any other tips, please do leave them in the comments below, as I would love to read about your experiences. I'd love to try out more tips, so yeah, please drop those below. If you found this helpful and enjoyed this video, please do like and subscribe, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!